was thinking, I want to give you a really cool blues lesson that kind of comes together. Something that you can practice as a rhythm player, and then also practice your licks. Either, this lesson will help you if you're playing with another friend or your brother or something like that. But then also I'm going to provide you with, me playing the jam track at the end so you can practice your licks as well. So first thing I want to do is show you the progression I was playing. Very simple 12-bar blues in the key of C. So if you're a beginner, this is a great thing to start with. Then I'm going to give you about 5 different licks and 2 little concepts to connect with that. And then it's up to you to just take that and run with it and, develop and get better and have fun with it. Alright? So first thing we're going to do is talk about these chords that I'm playing. Alright, in the 12-bar blues, you have what's called the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. We're only going to use 2 shapes to play this entire blues, the whole thing. Alright, keep it simple, but it'll groove nicely. So the first shape is the 7-bar chord shape with the root on the E string. We're playing blues in C, so we've got the 8th fret right there. We bar it, and then we play, hopefully something you've been working on is this E major shape, and we would have a C major bar chord. But if you take your pinky off, you get what's called C7, the blues chord version. Now you could also add your pinky to the 11th fret of the B string too, and that makes that blues sound a little brighter. But you can have it on or off. Either way, it's the same chord, so that's good news. So we do this. Da 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 da. Then we're going to do the same rhythm on what's called the 4 chord, and it's called an F9 chord. And what we're going to do is take our middle finger, and we're going to put on the 8th fret of the A string. Index finger on the 7th fret of the D. And then ring finger is going to be, first, if you can, you want it on the 8th fret of the G. But if you can bar that ring finger across the B and high E on that 8th fret as well, then you get this chord. F9. So we go like this. That first rhythm on the C. And we go to that F9. Now keep track of the roots. The root of the 1 chord is on the 8th fret of the E. The root of the 4 chord is on the 8th fret of the A, but it's going to be our middle finger. So you have to kind of look at the roots. You have that, the index finger's there, and then we go to the 4 chord, that middle finger is on the 8th fret, and then you form the shape. Those are only 2 shapes we need for this whole blues progression. So we have this. Okay, that's called the short change in the 12-bar blues. So we got the C, then we got the F9. Now we're going to go back to the C, but this time we're going to do it for twice as long as before. Then we're going to do the F9 for twice as long as before. Then the C9 for twice as long. Just like that. So that's all we've done so far. The C, then the F, then the C for twice as long, and then the F for twice as long. Alright, let's do it one more time. Back to that C for twice as long, right there. Then all we do is what's called the turnaround. We're going to do that same F9 chord, but up a whole step. So my middle finger, the root on the A string, is on the 10th fret. And we do one rhythm pattern, then down to the 4 chord, a whole step down, and then we do the, kind of that little fancy turnaround thing. And we're going to do C for half of those rhythm, to F9 for half, to C for half, and then up to that G9 for half. And then the whole thing starts over again. So short one on C, short one on F, twice as long on C, twice as long on F, still that same length on C again. Then 1 on the G. Then a whole step down to the F. Then half on C. Half on F. Half on C. Half on G. So now I'm going to play through it one time, and if you're still a beginner and you're still working on these chord shapes and stuff, just let them ring out one time. The most important thing would be to know when they're going to change, and to also feel in your head when they're going to change, because that also is going to relate to some of the cool signature licks. Here we go, just one time through, and then I'm going to teach you some cool licks. And the cool thing about videos, you can play this back as many times as you want, and practice and get better. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the switch. Back to the C. For twice as long. Now the F. Up to the G, turn around to F, C, then we play the G. Hopefully you're with me so far. I'm going to teach you some licks. The first thing I want to do is just talk about some of the concepts, and then we're going to learn some tasty licks, and then there'll be a jam track for you to practice over. So right off the bat, obviously we want what's called the C minor pentatonic scale. So the index finger is on the 8th fret of the E string, and you play this first kind of box shape that most people learn. The blues scale by adding the middle finger on the 9th fret of the A, then the 11th with your pinky on the G, just a little note added, and then really practicing that in triplets. Triple, triple, listen to it over the triple, triple. play any licks there. I was just playing that triplet blues scale. It sounds like a solo. So if you can learn 5 licks that you can vary as much as you possibly can, so in other words, you learn 1 lick and you can modify it into 3 or 4 different combinations, then if you have the triplets up and down the blues scale just mixed in with some of the variations of some of the licks you know, you're soloing. That's it. Okay, so the other thing is the extended run of the pentatonic, and you'd put your ring finger on the root instead, on the 8th fret, and then you have a whole step below it, 6th fret, so you have 6, 8, 6, 8, all with my first and ring finger, 6, 8, 6, 8, slide from 8 to 10 with the ring finger. We're gonna, for now, we're always gonna transition with our ring finger. Now we're in our regular pentatonic that we just talked about, and then we have 8, 10 on the D, 8, 10 on the G, slide a whole step, so I slid up to the 12th, but now I have to get index on the 11 of the B. That's the one little tricky spot. It's a little awkward. But we're setting our fingers up to keep going up the run, so we've got 12, 11, 13, 11, 13, and then you can even slide that 13 to 15. So those are the elements, and then the other thing that we want to do is, just for now, we're going to use a little bit of the C major pentatonic, and that we're only going to take the G, B, and high E string of that major pentatonic, because we're just going to add a couple of licks that are great to mix up the tension of your soloing, or the style, or the tonal quality. So it's going to be middle finger on the 9th fret of the G. Then index, index on the 8th fret of the B, and then 10th fret of the B, then 8, 10 on the high E. Alright, so the first lick I want to teach you is, and that's beautiful. A lot of players, the blues legends, combine that major sound with the minor sound in the blues, and it adds a nice sophistication. And it's not something it's not something you have to do to be a great blues player, but it's a really nice little trick that you can add. And also keep in mind, it's really cool because all the minor pentatonic and blues scale stuff works over all the chords it works over the 1, 4, or 5. But like this little major lick works really well over the 1 chord and the 5 chord. So check it out. We're going like this. We're taking the 8th fret of the G, and we're sliding it to the 9th fret with the middle finger, or the one that's not my pointer finger. The one that's not my pointer finger. So we're going to go 8 to 9 slide. Then we're going to go, yeah, was that 8? Yeah, 7, 8, yeah. 8 to 9 slide. Then 8 to 10 on the B. So we got, then we're going to go ring finger to the 10th fret of the high E. All 3 fingers, you know, with a bend to them so we can straighten the finger out to bend the string up. And we're going to just bend it up a whole step. So it should sound like the pitch of the 12th fret. And so we're going to use that over the 1 chord. You want to start to hear when it's the 1 chord and when it's not. So it'd be 1, 2, 3. So So that bend comes in right on the C chord. And so right when it switches to that short change, we want it to become the 11th fret on the high E. And now we're in the regular minor pentatonic. So with the 1 chord, we go. And then when it goes to the 4 chord, so we're going to do the exact same lick, but instead of middle finger slid from the 8 to the 9, we're going to go ring finger from the 9 to the 10, because now we're playing the minor pentatonic over the 4 chord, and it's going to be the same lick, but minor style. So it's like 9 to 10, slid on the G, with the ring finger, and then 8 to 10 on the B. But then 11 on the high E. Then the first lick again. And so we'll do some kind of variation where we're going to go bend, that same bend, then we're going to go 8 on the high E, 10 on the B, back to 8 on the high E. So here's what we have so far. Now it's going to go to the 4. And then I'm going to teach you kind of the Stevie Ray turnaround lick. So it's a kind of a concept right there. But so real quick, here's those licks. We have 2 licks basically. We have this one, and we have the minor form of it. And for variation, you could keep the 10 on the B there for that, like this. Just as a variation. So here's what they sound like over the chords. So the Stevie Ray lick, it starts, I mean, there's a variation of it, but when it's on the 5 chord, that G, we're gonna hammer the 10th fret of the high E. So 8 hammered to 10. Then our index finger is going to be planted on the 8th of the high E, and we're going to hammer on pull off the 9th with our middle finger. So it's like, and then pinky to the 11th of the B. So that lick breaks down like this. Let's break it down into little Lego blocks. We've got the hammer on from the 8 to the 10. 2 of them. Then hammer on pull off between the 8 and the 9 on the high E to the 11 on the B. So check it out. Then back to the 8th on the high E. So check it out. Then you can go 11 to 8 on the B. And you can vary it by always, you can always bend the 11th right there on the B up a whole step. So check it out. Climb down up the blues scale. And then you can always go 8, 9, 10, but as you're doing licks, like hello. So I tried to, show you how those licks can become concepts. The better you get at playing, you can take the lick and you can change it, you can mix it. And then I was combining the 8, 10, and then the 8, 11 on the high E. And and then obviously variations on that Stevie Ray Vaughan lick. And then licks, you know, with the and the blues scale. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you about 4 or 5 minutes of that jam track. I'm just going to play it live right now, and you can work your licks out, you can comp with me, basically use everything you know, and we'll jam together. And I think it'll be fun. So let's go for it. Ready? Alright, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. right. I hope you had fun with that. And, I hope you're feeling good about things. Any level you're at, I think you could get something out of all those concepts we just talked about. If you're, straight up beginner, hopefully you can still, start by working on being able to play through those chords well. And then also just, playing that blues scale up and down to start with. But I think overall you can see that there was some kind of juicy tidbits in there that I've learned from listening and other people too. It's not like I invented this stuff, but I'm trying to communicate the thoughts and the things I've learned to you guys. So hopefully that was fun. Keep in touch with me. I love hearing back from you guys. That's where I get all my ideas for these lessons, is from you guys. So, if you want to hear something different or something else, just let me know. All right? Thanks for all the support. We'll see you real soon.